Well, it's a new day here in the garage. Didn't really make an outro for yesterday. I was tired and we had a quick change of plans last night to go out. We'll just catch up. Didn't really get much farther than where I left off. All the pistons are complete. All the rings are on. They're ready to be installed. Over here, I put the main cap bearings in and set the crank in place. My next step right now, I'm going to get the plastic gauge out and check my bearing clearances. And then we'll go ahead and install the crank for the final time, torque all the main bolts, flip the block over, and then get ready to start putting the pistons in. Well, I'll do the first main bearing. Using the green plastic gauge. It's just like a very, very thin strip of like wax. You put it down on your main journal. You'll torque it down, and you can go in here and you can see where your clearances are. So that's good. There's a little thin strip, and it dissolves and turns back into oil. So let's get the rest of them done and get the crank bolted in. And all the bearing clearances look good with plastic gauge. The last clearance I'm going to have to set is end play, which is how much play the crank has moving front to back, especially with this being a manual transmission car. There'll be a lot of pressure against the crank when you have the clutch in. So in this block, the center main bearing number 3 has got your thrust bearing. So it's like a bearing that comes up the side of each cap and it goes into the block. So basically I just push the crank as far forward as I can and slip my feeler gauge in here. And I've got 0.004 clearance, which is in the spec. And then you can push it back, check the other side. So all my clearances look good. I'm now going to take the crank out for the last time. I think it's heavy moving it back in and out of the block. Take it out for the last time, make sure everything's clean. And then we're going to put some assembly lube in there, drop it in, torque my main bolts. The center main bolts all go to 100 foot-pounds. The three center caps have the 2 side bolts go to 35 foot-pounds. Get that torqued in and move on. All right, get ready to do the final torque. So I'll just show this here. These main caps get torqued to 100 foot-pounds in 3 stages. So I did it at 40, at 75, and now I'm going to do the final one at 100. That's one tight bolt. There we go. Now, we're checking the crank after each torque. It still spins nice and free, which is what you want. If it binds up at any point, then you got a problem, and you got to figure out where that is. So, all these bolts are torqued to 100 foot-pounds. That's good to go. Quick update, progress so far. I've got all the pistons in. So the whole rotating assembly is in. And timing chain is in. Everything went nice. Everything's torqued. We just need to clean the deck and put the heads on. And I'll tell you what, this is the first time I've ever used a tapered ring compressor right there. That made installing the pistons so easy, rather than those spring type that you tighten down with an Allen wrench. Yeah, I don't think I would have the patience to deal with that. But we're all in, all together. Happy with the progress so far, getting ready to put the heads on. You know, I would like to film, you know, putting these pistons in, but you know, you gotta dunk them in oil and put the bearings in and get the assembly lube on the bearings, and my hands are just covered in oil the entire time. There's no way I was just gonna film that. And like I said, this is not a how-to. This is kind of just, you know, just kind of documenting my progress as I go along. So it's looking good. I am happy. So let's get the head gaskets unpacked. We'll get the heads on. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do the valves today or not. But I do want to get the heads on. So that's where I'm going next.